It's missing something, says Hungary. I'll figure it out in the morning. What's this? Asks Romania. New coatings of arms for Hungary? How are so annoying me. Why, he must always act artsy when he is savage invader. Look, I am Mongol boy. Look how much more Catholic I are than Romania, evil dirt. Well, no more. I'll show him. The next morning, time to see if I can make my glorious coat of arms even more perfect than before. Is perfect. Who would have thought it would be Romania to help give Hungary the cherry on top, or I guess in this case the cross on top, and they never decided to fix it either. Still to this day, they got it leaning slightly to the left. The Kingdom of Hungary has had many different shields and designs, but that cross at the top that's kind of leaning to the left, it's been around for a minute there. Things that are crests, the top of waves, the floofy bits some birds have on their head, and helmet decorations derived from medieval jousts. I think he's holding a Canadian maple leaf. Things that aren't crests, shields, the Triforce, Japanese Mon, and football club logos. They are instead all different types of emblems. In heraldry, crests are like hats. They go on top of the helmet, which in turn sits on top of the shield. Altogether, they form the coat of arms, or just arms for short. When it comes to heraldry, there just seems to be a lot more that can be done. You're not forced into using just 3 colors in a certain order to define your entire nation. A return to form by the Swedish government. In 2011, they used this very bland thing, but in 2021, they decided to go a little bit more retro. Why would they ever have strayed away from this in the first place? These 3 crowns for Sweden are just so iconic. Daughters are allowed by courtesy to use their father's coats, which they conventionally depict on a diamond-shaped lozenge. When they marry, they then place their own family coat beside their husband's on his shield. This is actually known as impaling. It's an interesting word. If their father has no sons, they become heraldic heiresses when he dies. They then may place their own family shield in the middle of their husband's shield. It's be one of those things where, like, if I saw how cool me and my husband's shield could be if my father just didn't make it, I might be thinking about having him accidentally trip out of a window. Oh, I guess the key to remember though is he also has to have no sons. We'll throw everyone out the window if we have to. The only thing that matters is having a cool design. This is the proposed coat of arms for the nation of Finland. Might notice some very interesting designs up here in the corner. The key to this though is that the design was proposed in 1929. That was still a whole 4 years before the No-No Germans popped up. Actually a whole 10 years before even World War II started. It's probably a pretty massive blessing in disguise that they didn't actually go with this one. Probably would have had to change that. I love how the actual coat of arms that Finland went with has one of the most terrifying lion designs I've ever seen. It's just like screaming up here. Denmark in their heraldry decided to go with 3 very sussy looking lions. Then there's Sweden, who ended up choosing 2 ridiculously pompous lions for some reason. There's Norway, which went with just a dancing lion. Pretty cool, he's at a rave. And finally, lastly out of the Nordics, Finland went with one just very special lion, I guess. Oh, is that why he's screaming? He stabbed himself in the head? Oh, it does look like he kind of has a robotic arm over there too. So that proposed one in 1929 still kept the special elements. They just made it like even, I don't even know if I want to finish that statement. It just made it more no-no. In most places that practice heraldry, a basic coat of arms is made up of these 3 parts. We have a crest and torse, the helmet and mantling, and then of course, finally, the shield part. Sometimes you can even throw a motto down here. This was actually the coat of arms for William Shakespeare. The most important part is the shield. Everything else is optional. That's right, a coat of arms can just be a shield. You'll see that a lot with the town arms, for example. There's also things like supporters, crowns, and other so-called adamants, but those are usually seen as a special privilege reserved for governments, nobility, and so on. The reason is classism. Yeah, let's not get into that. I like how with time it seems like even places that didn't historically practice heraldry started to get into it, whether you're an entire nation or just a small town or even just a family. Here is the Taiwanese coat of arms according to a 1979 encyclopedia. As we talked about in the beginning, a coat of arms really goes hand in hand if you already have an emblem on your flag. Makes the design designer's job like 5,000 times easier. What's funny is I haven't been able to find this symbol anywhere else on the internet, not even in just like the general symbols of Taiwan Wikipedia page. Maybe this stuff's not always officially adopted. Oh, here we go. And it looks like they added like, I don't know, some extra elements to it. Seems a bit shinier or something. The very real arms of the U.S. Army's 40th Cavalry Regiment. And no, this is actually not a joke. I thought this was like a meme initially. Like I thought this image down below was memeing the top image. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to come up with a more interesting design. I love their insignia. Talk about threatening. I wouldn't want to come up against this. Imagine just like a T-Rex with a lightsaber. Here is the heraldry of the coronation. First, we have the Princess of Wales and the Duchess of Edinburgh here. They have, well, you're going to notice that all of them kind of go with a similar sort of vibe. The Duke of Edinburgh and the Princess Royale. Of course, here in the middle, we have the new king, and he also just, you know, yeah, looks like the Prince of Wales just kind of has like, I don't know, is missing a PNG image. Like at least all the other places like the Duke of Kent, they've got like flag designs. I guess that's what they're supposed to do. It's like a banner. I like how you can almost read it like a book going back to Princess of Wales. I want to be one of these kids with like just a different design altogether. Meanwhile, the Queen has her own kind of thing going on, at least on the right side. Now this is making me mad that I don't have my own coat of arms. I need to design one, print it out, and like fly it outside my house for the next like 3 years. Ralph has a pretty cool one. It looks like he's going to be like a crazy Dark Souls boss one day. When you put your heraldry full of stuff that is unobtainable to you. For the British, that is unicorns and dragons. Meanwhile, for the Soviets, it's technology, peace, prosperity, food. This is just making me think it's one thing to put it on your coat of arms, but Wales, you're out here putting it on your flag. That's just like a whole nother level. I feel like the English tried to warn them, like, hey guys, if you really decide to put the dragon on your flag and not just on your coat of arms, like we're not going to include you in the Union Jack. And they were just like, I don't care, we'll do it anyways. Another missing joke from this meme though is unobtainable things. They do have the West German flag on this icon. They definitely didn't get West Germany. Countries and their coat of arms. We have Poland with their white eagle. Isn't it cute? Italy with their star. Hee hee, shiny. Germany with their German eagle, the only eagle that lives around here. Hee hee, small me, says Turkey with a small Turkish flag. Finally, there's Finland. Finland with whatever they have. Yeah, wait, what is wrong with his face? That is the face that all Finnish have when you decide to invade their country. The USSR knows all too much about that. This was the real-life heraldry of a very tiny nation that existed in Europe for about 100 years. Like one of the most Easter egg nations, because I always forget that this existed at one point. It was literally smashed in between the Dutch, Belgians, and Prussians, so they obviously decided to reflect that in their design. They even went with the updated German flag in the middle. I guess the whole point of this place was just to be this neutral zone, and somehow it was around for like 104 years. I love that their entire existence was just them being smashed in between these three countries. This was a postcard that they had back in the 1900s. I don't even know if you can technically refer to them as a country. It was more of a political territory. I guess that's a country. An extremely underappreciated coat of arms from the Solomon Islands. They slap it on their cash too. We've got a crocodile on one side and a shark on the other. Does it get any better than that, honestly? And it looks even better in color, to be honest. A proposal for coat of arms coming from US states. I think it's some of the beauty about introducing heraldry is you already have a lot of inspiration from the flag itself. I mean, Tennessee doesn't even have to do any work. This is so obvious. They got to do it like this. Same goes for Texas. Maybe you can make the star bigger. It does get a little bit more complicated for some of these others though. Yeah, definitely has to be a Californian bear. Now there's already coat of arms for the states. They're just like not super simple. They don't kind of have like a streamlined sort of thing going on. Not simplified at all. Also, sometimes they're just like shields and seals. Washington's just going with the face of Washington. I mean, can't argue with that logic. So recently, pretty much the greatest ever heraldic map of Europe just dropped. The full image is over 30 megabytes large, actually, and there is close to 19,000 individual coat of arms representing nations, kingdoms, regions, duchies, counties, dynasties, and more important, cities from both the past and the present. And apparently, with even all that said, it's still not finished. There's still more work to be done. One of the biggest problems I'm sure that was ran into here is just like there's not enough space. Like, you can't jam all of them into the, you would need like such a massive map of Europe. Iceland looks like it still's got a little bit of room though. How does one even find all these? Like, I know for the bigger places, even the not so big places, I recognize the Corsica one. That is because that is literally the Corsican flag right there. There's even a blast from the past with the Roman shield. What's amazing about this map is even if you don't know political boundaries, you can see where the nation lies just on the designs of the shields. I was talking about the 3 crowns that is iconic to Sweden. You can see those 3 crowns reflected in their territory. Glad that proposed coat of arms for Finland didn't end up here. But their scary lion sure did. Is that just a giant caveman with a club? And Sweden has one too? You can really see the Polish territory, not even zoomed all the way in. They really loved this like eagle sort of thing. There's Slovakia, which they also have on their flag. We have Hungary and Austria. There's Croatia with their famous checkered pattern. Love how you can like kind of see Byzantium out here in like Greece and Turkey. Swiss heraldry is pretty iconic just because it's like all of their cantons. These actually some pretty famous ones. A lot of Americans know about these, and that is because we can find them on the Matterhorn ride at Disneyland. I always love looking at that. Key thing to mention here again is the difference between heraldry and emblems. If you aren't seeing a certain icon that you're used to, it might just be an emblem. There's the all too famous Isle of Man with their 3 legs and the 3 sussy lions that Denmark has. I like how a lot of other places decided to keep that sort of vibe going on. This one's missing the hearts though. The hearts is like the crucial part. I like this one out of Bosnia, just an arm and like a pirate sword. I could honestly stare at this thing for hours just to try to find all the Easter eggs and the ones that I like the most. Imagine if there's a way you could put your mouse on one of the shields and it'll pop up like a hyperlink to the Wikipedia article exactly referencing where each one's coming from. Incredible work. I can't even imagine how much research was put into this. Big thanks to my patrons. I have cloned Drew and I'm now training him to fight the imposter doing these videos. Subscribe to Drew now.
John Denver.
Australia is real. I am not a fat,
normal,
Argentinian grandpa. Amateur, Archaeology, Inquisitor,
KirinoIsBestGirl,
Luxembourg, Robert,
the
RyeThePie,
Polish-Lithuanian
the
Commonwealth,
Twickenhamster, and why am I doing